Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I am doing the end of the year tag. It's really crazy that it's already time to start doing this tag. I realize it's not the end of the year yet, but these questions are kind of like reflecting on the last quarter of the year and what kind of reading you hope to get done and all of that kind of stuff. And I've already seen a couple people do this tag, so I'm not like the first person to be doing this and thinking about all this kind of stuff, but yeah, it just seems crazy that it's already time to start wrapping up the reading year. The original creator of this tag is Ariel Bissett, so I will have her channel linked below so you can go check her out. All right, so let's dive into the questions. Question number one is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And I don't think so. I haven't had any books that I have kind of started and set down and haven't finished yet. Most of them I've finished in a semi-timely manner. There was a few that I set down for a bit and picked back up, but I have finished those. Any other books that I haven't finished are books that I don't intend to finish, so they don't really count. I guess maybe the only exception is I am doing a chronological reading plan for my Bible reading this year. So I will finish the Bible by the end of the year. So I don't really know. That's the only thing I can think that sort of counts. Question number two is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I'm not really that sure. I do kind of like to read a little bit seasonally, but I don't really have any like serious plans or anything. I guess Victober in general kind of ushers me in because Victorian classics feel very like cozy to me, very fall, very winter. So I guess my Victober reads kind of count for that. Question number three is there a new release that you're still waiting for? And yes, my daughter and I are both eagerly anticipating book 9 of the Keeper of the Lost Cities series by Shannon Messenger. That book was supposed to come out, I think, last year, and then it didn't. So it is coming out. We have it on pre-order. We very rarely pre-order books, but we did pre-order this one. It's coming out at beginning of November, and my daughter absolutely can't wait, and I'm looking forward to it as well. There's a couple other books that I'm interested in reading that I don't think have released yet at the time of this video going up. One of those is Brandon Sanderson is releasing like the last book in the second Era Mistborn series, but I haven't read even the first book, so that kind of doesn't count. And I'm also interested in the last book of the second Red Rising trilogy, but again, I haven't started that second trilogy yet either. I've read like Era 1 of both of those series and not started the next one. So those are still books I'm like interested in, but I wouldn't say that I'm like super anticipating them because I have a little catching up to do before I get to them. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Only 3? I'm like not doing the best at any of the TBRs that I set for this year. I still have quite a few books on my classics TBR, quite a few books on my Reader Read project, quite a few books on my 5-star predictions, and I have totally given up on finishing my nonfiction TBR that I made for this year because like I put all these books on the list and then I like wasn't in the mood for any of them. So if I can read one more book for my nonfiction TBR, I will be pleased with that. Next month is Nonfiction November. So I do plan to get to that. And then probably some books from my classics TBR. I have plans to still read some of those, but I have not scheduled in A Tangled Web by Ellen Montgomery or Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. So we'll include both of those on that list as well. Question number 5, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I mean, maybe. Nothing's impossible. There's not any book that I'm like looking so much forward to that I think will be my favorite book of the year. But the books that have wowed me the most this year are not the books that I really thought would for the most part. There is one exception. But overall, the books that I would call like my top books of the year are not books that I anticipated loving as much as I did. So it's very possible that there's another book that could come back and just absolutely knock my socks off. But I don't think that there's any book that I can think of that I'm like greatly anticipating reading that I think will be that high on the list, but we'll see. And the last question, this tag is so short, you guys. I really haven't had a whole lot to say about this, except that I have a lot of books that I still need to read. The last question, question number 6, is have you already started making your reading plans for next year? And the answer is yes, I have a lot of plans. I am already starting to compile a classics TBR. I already have quite a few buddy reads lined up. I already have like 3 readathons that I am either co-hosting or hosting that I'm planning for the first half of next year. And when I was reorganizing my bookshelf, I took a bunch of books off that will probably be on my reader read project. So I am already working on that as well. It's funny because I really have still so much left to read this year and books that I'm really looking forward to getting to. But there's something about like a fresh start for the new year that I'm like really, really pumped to start reading some books next year. I'm curious to hear whether or not you guys are the same way. Do you just kind of like take it as it comes, or do you start planning in advance and you're kind of excited, kind of have some sort of game plan for what it is you want to read? I know quite a few of you are mood readers. So I guess if you're mood reading, I wonder if you plan anything for the year, if you're just kind of like, whatever I feel like reading, or if you like actually like look at your shelves and kind of like take inventory and say, oh, it would be nice if I read these, and kind of have like tentative plans. Or do you just like totally wing it and you read like whatever you want to read? Well, I guess that's it for this tag. I guess I don't have as much to say as I do for some tags, but it's fun to think about wrapping up the end of the year, but also like crazy to think that it's time to start wrapping up the end of the year, that we are actually like very firmly in the last quarter of the year. It's crazy. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. I'd love to hear if there are books that you are still planning to get to this year that you haven't gotten to yet, or books that you picked up and then set down and you would like to finish before the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.